We all tend to admire that person who can just do it all themselves. We see it as this incredible strength, right? Pure willpower. But what if that strength isn't the whole picture? What if it's actually a story about survival? Today, we're diving into hyper-independence. And trust me, there's a much deeper story hiding just beneath the surface.
Come on, you know exactly who I'm talking about, right? That friend, that family member, heck, maybe it's even the person staring back at you in the mirror. They're the one who just handles everything on their own, like they have this endless supply of self-reliance.
And, why wouldn't we? In a world that's all about being resilient and just getting stuff done, the hyper-independent person seems like the gold standard. They're strong, they're capable, they're the person you feel like you can always count on, mostly because they've learned to only ever count on themselves.
Okay, but here's where we're going to pump the brakes a little bit. What if that's not the whole story? It's time to kind of pause and really ask, is this just about strength, or is it actually a matter of survival? We're about to look at this through a completely different lens. This one question, it honestly changes everything. It forces us to look past that tough, capable exterior and start thinking about the history that might have built that armor in the first place. What if this was never a choice or a preference, but a strategy that someone had to build when there just were no other options? So look at this. It really breaks it down, right? On one side, you have the way we usually see it. Pure willpower, true independence, strength. But then you look at the psychological reality, and it's different. It's an adaptive response, a survival mechanism. This isn't something you're just born with. It's a behavior that was learned and built up over time, kind of like a fortress around yourself.
So what is an adaptive response anyway? Well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's your brain and your body literally adapting to the world around you to keep you safe. See, when your environment is tough or maybe you just can't consistently rely on other people, your whole system adapts. It learns to rely on the one person who is guaranteed to always be there, you.
All right, so if we're saying this is a learned response, how in the world does that learning process actually happen? Let's dig into how this whole mindset gets built right from the ground up.
Wow. Just let that sink in for a second. This phrase gets right to the absolute core of it. For a developing mind, that is such a profound and powerful lesson to learn. Imagine learning time and time again that when you're in need, the cavalry just isn't coming. That belief gets hardwired right in.
And you can almost see the dominoes fall here, can't you? It so often kicks off with inconsistent support during those really formative years. From that experience, the brain learns that absolutely crucial lesson: help may not arrive. That lesson then hardens into a mindset of, I'm not waiting around to be rescued. And the final result? Hyper-independence pops up as a core survival strategy.
Now, you do see this pattern associated with certain groups, for sure. Like Generation X often gets brought up. They were famously called the latchkey kids, right? But it's so important to get this. This isn't about one single generation. It applies to anyone from any walk of life who went through that kind of inconsistent support system growing up. So, we've broken down the what and the how. But this next part, this is arguably the most important piece of the puzzle. Why does shifting our perspective on this actually matter? Well, it all comes down to choosing empathy over judgment.
Because it completely reframes the whole situation. That person who never asks for help, they aren't just being stubborn or proud for no reason. When you can see their self-reliance as a testament to everything they had to overcome, as a living story of their own survival, judgment just kind of melts away, doesn't it?
And look, the payoff for thinking this way is just huge. It helps us feel so much more empathy for the people around us. And hey, if this happens to be your story, it encourages you to have some self-compassion for the incredible coping skills you had to build. At the end of the day, it moves all of us away from criticism and towards a place of genuine curiosity about each other's stories. So, I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. The next time you see that fierce independence in somebody, or maybe even in yourself, try looking at it through this new lens. How does seeing it as a story of survival, not just a show of strength, change the way you see them, and maybe the way you see yourself?